Hello, welcome to my stream, and today I'm going to be playing Alone with You. As it says right there, it's a sci-fi romance adventure. I've never heard of this game before buying it. Never played this game, so let's get into it. Nice, cute little pixel graphics. Oh, I didn't even know I was in it. Oh. Can I fall off this cliff? Nope. That was badass. Oh. Let's get going. It's gonna start clicking around. Oh! Wait, I wasn't done. What else is over here? Inaccessible. Obviously, can't get there. Inaccessible. Inaccessible. Oh. That's trippy. Oh, hello! You must have seen the worsening situation out there. Did you notice the planet's instability on your way here? I rushed, to be honest. I appreciate that. I won't waste time. Let's go over our situation. We may not get another opportunity. Alright, what's going on? The situation is, unfortunately, quite dire. The Hudson Cartier Terraforming Project 27A has unequivocally failed. As you remember, we started with dozens of staff, over 2,000 robots and drones, and a very specific plan. This facility was the best in the sector. Now, as far as the home office is concerned, the entire facility is a write-off. 16 years of work has been undone. Well, that's great. I apologize for being so direct, but would it shock you to know that, by my estimates, we have less than a month to survive? What? Or makes sense? Makes sense. Perhaps your astuteness is why you alone have survived. The next 3 weeks are critical, as Epsilon Iridian B continues to decline. Well, that's great. We still have an escape ship here on Colony A. It is structurally sound, and I believe I can help you fly it so we can escape. If we can transmit an emergency signal to the home office, we can likely intercept a company vessel and our ship and gain transport back home. The problem is, there are 4 key systems on the escape pod that I can't repair, and you aren't trained to deal with by yourself. That's awesome. However, as you may recall, this colony includes a holosim chamber to help the population deal with often lonely, monotonous reality of life out here. Thankfully, that chamber is still operational, if a little glitchy, and this is where my plan comes in. 4 other colonists were experts in the appropriate fields. I don't believe you ever met them. That's great. Winnie Laurer was our communication expert, and she could have helped us repair the navigation systems. Okay. Pierre Tong was the colony director, and an engineering genius. He would have been able to assist us with thrusters. Leslie Barajois, I don't know, ran the agrodomes, and I'm sure she could have helped us maximize the ship's life support and food processing. And Jean Lumumba led the resource management teams. He could have shown us how to best keep the ship powered and stable. I can help direct you to the materials we need to fix the ship, but some of the details were known only to these 4 crew members. Sadly, some of my systems have become corrupt as the colony has failed. I am less useful to you now. But if we can use the HoloSim to recreate these 4 key colleagues, we might stand a chance of getting off this planet. Their expertise may be the only thing that allows us to escape. It's a long shot, but if we work together, I think we can make it. So that's the plan. Before you go to your quarters, though, let's register your name so the holograms know what to call you. What do I wanna... Flubgy. I'm gonna be Flubgy. Okay, you've entered your name as Flubgy, is that correct? Maybe. Excellent. I'm glad whatever, I've skipped that. Okay. Woo, Flubgy! Accessible. Crew chambers, okay. This is a cool little game. Private quarters, can't go anywhere, alright. Pretty linear. Let's see here. Oh, rest for a while. That's cool. I don't know if I want to waste time though, but fuck it. I'm tired. I'm gonna take a little nap. Oh, that's cool. Day 1. So what, 3 weeks? Good morning. I know you've just woken up, but as we discussed, time is of the essence. How are you functioning today? Are you well? I guess. That's good. Your task will be easier if you're well rested. Please come see me again in the core at your earliest convenience. Well... let's get going. Just head north to the core and we can discuss your mission for the day. Well, I guess. Okay, Flubgy. Last night I scanned what's left of the colonies in hopes of finding materials we can salvage. I think I found a few good leads. I think it would be best if you first go to the comms relay and find 5 communication devices we can use for the escape ship. The comms relay is where Winnie Laurie was last known to be. Hopefully you can find out some more information on her on your trip as well. When you're ready, you can go south to the shuttle bay and pilot a course there. Alright, sounds good. Let's get out of here. Away. Comms relay. So this is a sci-fi romance. I'm wondering where that comes in. Oh, baby. It's probably been a long time since you've been to the comms relay. I don't believe you had an occasion to come here often, if at all. When the other colonists separated, this was considered a prime location, but only one person really had the expertise to make good use of it. Remember, you're looking for components we can use to power the escape ship's communications. 5 good parts should do. Sounds good. What's over here? Nothing? Alright. Oh boy. Ah, damn it. Well, the increasing acidity of this planet's rainfall has apparently weakened and damaged the structure here. That's partly why I don't quite understand why you keep going to that lookout near the wrist. It's harmful for your suit. Looks like the elevators are partly affected. They'll probably only move one floor at a time as a safety precaution. Oh. Oh, is this locked? Yeah. Fun. This looks like a standard issue field notebook. Most of the colonists use these as well as data pads. The notebooks were inexpensive and easy to transport, and studies revealed that humans enjoyed physically writing on paper. That seems rather inefficient, but I suppose tactility is important in forming emotionally impactful memories. Speaking of which, this looks like, well, it looks like the beginnings of some sort of fiction. That's interesting. It reads, the last interview with Paula M. Paula had suffered a long and arduous struggle against the dark, and now, in her final moments with it, she relented to its questions. Those are the only pages included with this notebook. If we want to read the rest, we'll have to find the other pages. Well, interesting. Yes, I would like to use the elevator. Do I have a scarf on? Terminal room 2. Broken terminal. Unlit portable lamp. Okay. It's a portable safety light. They use sophisticated LEDs and can last for over a year each. Its location suggests it was kept on, perhaps as a beacon, or because someone kept going there. If that's the case, whoever was in the comms relay was using that room frequently. Interesting. It's a series of torn pages, likely from the notebook on the first floor. It looks like the story starts here. The dark. Why struggle? You know, I've been here. I've been waiting all this time. Why didn't you give up? Paula. It's not in my nature just to give up. The dark. Really? I'm not so sure about that. For a long time, even amongst your peers, you gave up. Or at least, you seemed to withdraw from them. Isn't that like giving up? I don't think so. That's interesting, because they did. The further you isolated yourself, the less they felt like reaching out. Didn't you notice that? Yes, I noticed that. I assume there's more. Maybe you'll find more pages. It's interesting though, isn't it? Sure is. I thought so. Hopefully we get to read the rest of the story. We should continue. That is a pretty cool story. Looks like the terminal isn't functioning properly. Perhaps the environmental conditions affected it. That's it? And step on this bed? Alright. What else is there? I can't look in the locker? Nope. Alright. Time to move on. Oh, damn it. Nothing over here. I'll go up. How are you doing so far? Do you need any help? No, I'm good. You're very resourceful, Flubgy. If you need a reminder about what you're doing while you're in one of the facilities, just press L2 and I'll help. Cool. Oh. Tower bridge exit. Elevator. Let's go here. Okay, so there's something right. Open relay conduit. It's an open relay conduit. It looks like someone had repaired this terminal more than once in an attempt to continue transmissions. There's some clever work here. Your scan will help me configure the ship's communication parts to be more redundant and fail-safe. Now we only need 4 more communication parts for this from this area. Okay. Oh, whoops. Got stuck. It's a small pile of physical books. All colonists were issued data pads with e-reading abilities, but I suppose that wasn't to everyone's liking. There are assorted philosophy titles from old human writers. You can see very neat notes written in the margins. The first page has a monogram on it. W. Oh. Guess that's from Winnie. I mean, kind of obvious, but... Alright, let's move on. This elevator goes up from here. Do you want to go up? Yes. I like my dude's scarf. That's fucking cool. Scarfy scarf. Alright. Conduit room. Storage room. Locked. Alright. Might as well go in here. Service panel. It's a remote service panel for running diagnostics and checking alerts. It's been jury-rigged to allow non-standard signals. This work is unconventional, but I can use this to boost the signal and the escape ship's distress beacon. Now we only need 3 more communication parts from this area. Oh. There are certainly fewer components in the tower than you might think. I don't believe the drones finished fitting it as well as the others. As the construction of the colony's prefab elements continued, resource allocation estimates often become skewed. Too bad, really. It looks like a further set of pages from the field notebook on the first floor. The story continues. So, what made you change your mind? You're here talking to me now. You wouldn't have entertained that before. What changed? Well, this is the end, isn't it? There's no one else out there. So I'm talking to you. You know, that's not true. There are still others out there. You can hear them on your radio. But they don't know that. They don't know I made a new radio. No, of course not. That's what makes you so interesting. You withdraw, but in your way, you still reach out. You just don't want anyone to discover that. Paula falls silent for a moment. The story sounds like it's getting serious. I'm curious who are you siding with right now? Paula or the Dark? Dark. It is making some good points, isn't it? I mean, with as much as we know about this Paula character anyway. Oh, anyway, we better keep going. But that's interesting. What makes you think I want to just go? Gotta check around. Out of curiosity's sake. Well, looks like we gotta go up. So we can go up or down. Let's go up. I wonder why my guy has a scarf, though. Kinda interesting. Systems administration. Discarded food wrappers. Those special foil wrappers were used for food and snacks, but of course you already know that. You know, it took over 10 Earth years of R&D, reconnaissance and development, I'm guessing, to develop food that can travel such distances and still be palatable. Because of the efficiency with which Hudson Cartier transported colony deployments, a lot of food could be included. Previous colonial missions were less successful because of inefficient cargo and food stores. Of course, until the Argo domes were built, you all had to subsist on just these various portable stores. That's great. What else? Security panel. It's a standard security panel. It might be what locked the other doors in this part of the relay. Are you going to turn off the security locks? Yes. Okay. Let's check this out. Antiquated technology. There's a hoard of old Earth technology in that dusty shelf. Amazingly, several of the pieces are still functioning. Someone must have collected these old computers, sound systems, and radios. Your scan will help me to fabricate something inventive for the ship, I'm sure. Now we'll need 2 more communication parts from this area, which are probably behind the locked doors. Alright, going down. Let's do it. I saw prompts, but I guess it was this. Do I want to go down? Yes. And I'm guessing it's gonna unlock this. Bedroll. That's a standard issue bedroll. They're made of highly dense microfibers so they're very lightweight and yet warm. It looks like someone has been using it as a habitat of sorts. Very curious. You mean sleeping in it? But, ooh, okay. Okay, so it's that. Bedroll. Ah. Another portable safety lamp. That one still has power, but just barely. It might be slightly newer. The lamp looks like part of a little setup, including a bedroll. Someone must have been sleeping there. Please keep me informed of any other interesting details you find. I don't know. You're pretty interesting. Computer. Large pile of books. You found a hefty stack of books there. These ones are mostly adventure stories. You humans do seem to love these kinds of fantastic tales. The owner really did prefer physical reading, I see. They surely had access to digital versions of all of this. In fact, there was an entire database. As with the other books, these bear the W monogram. Is that it? Is there anything else in here? I still gotta find... let's go down. Okay. Locker room. Let's see. Small books. A stack of pocket-sized physical books. I see. Looks like they're mostly guides to social interaction and workplace issues. I suppose whoever owned these books, as you say, boning up. Is that what you say? You got me. Perhaps we can both work on our slang together then. In any case, the owner of these books seemed to be studying social skills. Weird. Computer. Looks like a hanging tarp. That appears to be a heat-absorbing synthetic blanket. It looks like it was hung up on that conduit. What do you think it was used for? How? I suppose that would make sense. Those standard issue blankets are quick drying, after all. I mean, shit, kinda, it looks like it. It looks like that portable terminal still has a tiny bit of battery life left. The model was known for being quite long-lasting. I can use your scan of its components as a guide for making the escape ship communications equipment more efficient. Now we only need one more communication part from this area. Let's get going. It's kind of nice how they did that. They, you know, have the unlock terminal on top, and then as you go down, you just go back to the same things, and voila. I guess I'm going down from here. What else? Server terminal. You've scanned a still functioning terminal that is apparently hooked up to the tower's mainframe. I bet you that room is warm. The mainframe is unfortunately damaged, but the terminal you scanned can still help us. Good work. Well, you found all the components I need for now. When you're finished there, you can use the shuttle to return home. It looks like a further set of pages from the field notebook on the first floor. The story continues. So who do you listen to most? The gardener woman, the drone leader, the self-appointed director, Paula interrupting. William. Sometimes he still broadcasts in the old colony. He sends me little messages, actually. And why him? Why Williams? He was so important here. He kept things working, he kept things repaired, he was essential, and nobody really gave him the respect he deserved. So what? Do you think you can relate to him? I don't know. Of all of them, I think I just understood him the best. When he stopped communicating, it felt like the end of the world. Well, when you think of it, it might be. You said it yourself. Paula gives the dark a cold, long stare, the toughest she can muster. There's no point in arguing the inevitable. Paul doesn't say anything. That seems to be the end of the story for now. I wonder if William is in reference to Mr. William King, who was the maintenance chief in Colony B. I don't know. Interesting. This game is very interesting. Alright, well, let's get the fuck out of here. The comms relay appears to be in worse shape than I expected, but good work. It looks like you found what you needed for today. Go ahead and use the shuttle to come back home. Alright, let's get out of here. So there's 4 more areas in this game. Meow. Such a cool noise. Whee! That noise gets me every time. Excellent. Oh, back in one piece. Cool. Got a trophy. It's kind of blocking. Excellent, you've arrived. Please see me in the core immediately so we can process your findings. Alright, well, let's get on it. Man, this guy walks fast. Okay, I've synced the data you scanned and collected today out there. Thank you for bringing this to me. I have good news as well. I've got the HoloSim chamber up and running. The constructs of the 4 colonists are already loaded. They're already working on helping you, but due to the currently limited availability of power and processing cycles, the chamber's a little shaky. You can retire to your quarters. When I've got the HoloSim stable enough for you to enter, I'll call for you. Alright, looks like I'm going to bed. Oh, what an adventurous day. Time to sleep. Just can't believe he sleeps in that suit, though. Flubgy, can you hear me? I'm sorry to wake you, but I need to show you something. I was able to make the final adjustments, and I got the HoloSim chamber nice and stable for you. I think it's best if you meet one of the others as soon as possible, so could you please go to the chamber in the South Hall? I mean, I guess. Frickin' woke me up, man. Had a long day. Just head south to the HoloSim chamber, and we can begin. South. Thank you for coming. The chamber will only work at night, when other systems are powered down. It's a limitation of our current situation, I'm afraid. This also means that I'll be in low-powered mode too, so you'll be on your own in there. I won't be able to see or hear what happens. So the time you get in the chamber will be strictly between you and whoever you're seeing that day. In the morning, the holograms will sync their data and ideas with me. Tonight, you'll be meeting Winnie Laurie for the first time. Since the comms relay was her domain, it makes sense that you visit with her. Remember, these holographic recreations, they're based on data backups I kept for each key member of the colony. They are, in effect, the very same people. However, after the Rift event broke off communications with other parts of the facility, and I lost track of these people, I was no longer able to keep them up to date. These constructs won't remember anything past a certain point. That might be a little touchy about that, so please do be careful. Anyway, when you're ready, just enter the chamber and use the controls situation within. When you're finished, you can return to your quarters. I'll speak to you again in the morning. Good luck in there. Good night. Good night, Flubgy. I hope these visits will help us with our goal. Alright, let's go. Begin HoloSim. Might as well. That's trippy. Oh. Hi there. Don't mind me. I just need to finish these calculations. I'll be done in a moment. The AI told me about your trip today. Did you, find those items you needed? Of course. I didn't mean to doubt you. Just don't give up, okay? I know this must be tough. Anyway, I think I'm done here for now, I guess. Let's just have a seat on the sofa. I could use a break. Why not? This is the dating sim part, or romance part? My guy, this looks so coy. The AI has us all working quite a bit. We can, simulate pretty much whatever we need in here to figure out how to best help you. Whatever you scan out there, the AI can give to each of us in here so we can keep working. It's a pretty smart setup, really. I chose to make my work environment this room. It's how I remembered my old apartment back on Earth. Is that weird? No, why? I guess you're right. The others probably chose something more professional. But I just love this room with all my old books and this sofa. Anyway, the AI must certainly be keeping you busy as well, so I'm glad you're here. And since here you are, well, what would you like to talk about? Why not ShipsCon? Well, as I'm sure the AI explained, my job is to help you get the escape ship's communication systems repaired so you don't blast off into space with no voice. Even if everything else is functioning, you wouldn't want to be out there with no way to contact anyone. I think I'd rather be adrift than not have a working radio. But I think the AI's plan is sound. If you can contact someone from your shipping lane, you can hopefully arrange a pickup. Kind of like thumbing a ride back to Earth, I guess. I never did that. Now that I think of it, I definitely was too, well, afraid to try it. Anyway, sorry. I'm talking too much. Odd. I don't think I ever talked this much before when I was, well, real. Alive. I wonder why that is. Maybe because I'm sexy as fuck with that scarf? Do you want to talk about anything else? Colony. We had as much a chance as anyone at making this work. In the end, I don't think I could quite believe it was going to fail. We all arrived here when? 2048? What year is it now? 2064. Wow, so 16 years? So much has happened, and there was so much needless loss. By the time... What is my guy doing? Oh, he just was probably adjusting. By the time we all arrived here in 2048, the remote colony building systems had all the basics ready. Most people were pretty excited to get started. But I had a harder time adjusting. Space travel will do that to some people. At least, that's what the head psychologist, Miss Bouchard, told me. Something about how close everybody was. You know, it was easy to feel trapped. We trained for all that, of course. But the real thing is different. Do you want to talk about anything else? You pick. Well, as you can probably tell, I'm not great at small talk, but okay, let's see. How about books? Do you read much? Voraciously. Oh, well, me too. I mean, obviously. You might have noticed that, I guess. Since apparently found a bunch of my books. The AI told me about that. I really like adventure stories, big, complicated ones. I suppose it helped deal with the relative closeness of living in the colony. I could imagine I was anywhere, and the Hudson Cartier manual said that escape was important to thriving in a remote colony. I suppose that's partly why we were equipped with this holosim chamber. It wasn't standard issue, so the higher-ups must have felt it was important. There were programs that we all brought with us. I don't know much about what the other people did in there. Maybe some took exotic vacations. William, Maintenance Chief King, I think he had some versions of his wife in there. She didn't come with him. She stayed on Earth. He never said anything about it, but I could tell it got to him. I mean, it did to all of us, but most of us were, well, alone. Normally, Hudson Cartier wouldn't allow colonists to be separated from their loved ones. They came as a package or they didn't go at all. Kept stressed down, they said. But William, well, he was a bit older and the best candidate for the job. I suppose HC knew how important he was to the mission. Damn. I wonder what his wife is doing, if she's still alive back on Earth. I wonder if she knows, you know, what happened to us. I don't even fucking know what happened to you guys. Anyway, so you were in the comms relay today, huh? What was it like out there? I guess I'll show her the pages. You what? Oh, you found a notebook, didn't you? With a story in it. Oh no, that's embarrassing. It was an interesting story. Yeah, that notebook was mine. I was writing stories while to pass the time, and to deal with things. I always wanted to write a book, but I never did, I guess. I figured it was my only chance to try. I know it wasn't very good. I guess I was trying to put my thoughts and, well, my feelings in some kind of relatable way, but that was probably pretty obvious. It's funny, though, now that I think of it. I don't know how the story ends. I can't remember everything I wrote. But, what did you think of what you read? I mean, if you read it. It was good. Really? Well, thanks. I appreciate you saying so. That means a lot. What else did you think about the comms relay? It was damp. The acidic rain must really be wearing it down, then. That was one factor that we couldn't properly account for. Yeah? Hudson Cartier knew of the weather systems on the planet, of course. It had a decade's worth of survey data with which to plan for this project. But I guess a decade only tells you so much. The systems changed, the acidic rain became much worse and much more frequent. I'd be surprised if any of the structures there didn't suffer damage. In Colony B, we had it the worst. Things eroded so fast. The comms relay seemed relatively intact, but even so, it was tough to keep the equipment working. I can still feel the chill of that place, somehow. Maybe it's a good thing you have that scarf. Oh, finally someone fucking mentions it. I'm sure it is. It probably protects against the rain and the silica that the wind tends to bring out. What else did you think about the comms relay? It was fucking empty. There are 5 towers in the relay. You must have been in Tower A. It was never completed. The relay was designed to be redundant, so not everything is in one place, and there are always backups of critical systems. I was the one who designed it, or consulted on the key components, back on Earth, but not everything was built to spec. I remember there were some issues with some of the drones. We lost some compatibility, so we had to think on our feet. That's why Tower A is only half finished. It seems like almost nothing went the way it was supposed to. It's so awful to think about. All those people. Don't be upset. It's just that we seem to have it all figured out, except that we didn't. What does that say? We were doomed to fail. It certainly seemed that way. So, it kind of sounds selfish, but as I work in here, I keep talking about the fact that I'm here, and yet, well, I'm not. I feel I can see you, obviously, and it all seems real, but I'm not here, am I? I'm not. I mean, I'm not really around anymore. So obviously something happened to me. I mean, the real me. But I can only remember so far back. I guess AI's version of me only counts for so much. It's like a backup, I suppose. The me you see, this is the most recent version. But does it count? Does any of this matter, if I'm not even real? Yes, of course. That is sweet of you to say, but I can't stop thinking about it. Believe me, I know this mission of yours is much more important right now. Look, I don't want to keep you here considering all you have to worry about. You need to rest, and you still have so much to do. But do you mind to, well, see if you can find out what happened to me? Maybe find some kind of record of what I went through? I promise. Thank you. Maybe we can talk about it some more the next time I see you. Take care for now. Well, goodbye! Alright, what else is in here? That fucking scarf, though. Badass. Alright. Getting out of here. Gonna go to sleep. Day 2. Good morning, Flubji. I received notice that the Hall of Sim Chamber had been successfully accessed. How did it go? Really well. That's wonderful to hear. I hope Miss Lori was able to give you some helpful information on repairing the escape ship. I received information from Miss Lori's construct this morning, after I returned to a full waking state. Whatever happened in there appears to have helped her problem solve a bit more effectively, in regards to the escape ship. I'm already crunching numbers on her ideas. I think this plan of ours is going to really help us out. In any event, you can return to the core when you're ready. I've got some new mission options for you today. Options? Well, hopefully it's more than one. Let's see, what can we do today? Now that you've been to the comms relay, and we have the holosim chamber working, I think it's time to branch out a bit. You have a few choices. First, we can try to recover plant material at the Argo Domes. We need to start equipping the escape ship with material for the food processors. Leslie Bourgeois ran the Argo Dome, so if you head there today, you can meet her tonight in the holosim chamber. Next is a colonist called the Caves. Excuse me. Our energy mining and processing center. The mine is available to visit. We can use more resources for fuel. Resource manager Jean Lombi was responsible for energy production. So if you head there, you'll see him tonight in the holosim chamber. Next is, well, Colony B. Due to recent shifts, it's finally accessible again, although I'm reluctant to send you there. It's luckily in a terrible state, but it might still have parts we can salvage for the escape ship's thrusters. Unfortunately, we have no choice but to check. If you do visit there, you'll get to meet Director Pierre Tong tonight in the holosim chamber. He might not like what we discover, though. Discovering more about each colonist is key to our survival. The more you can connect with their constructs, the more help they'll be able to us. Oh, more help they'll be to us. When you're ready, you can head south to the shuttle bay to pilot a course to one of the areas. I'll go to the Argo Domes. Why not? Food's important. Let's go to the Argo Domes. Go to Leslie. Or Agro Dome, whatever. This is the main grow dome in the facility, where the colonists used advanced hydroponics to grow base foods for processing. You can't see it from the ground, but the top of the building is like a giant round basin, and was designed to catch the rainfall and collect it. The top layer of the building processes the rain to remove its acidic elements and treat it to be potable and suitable for plants. Once you're inside, you should be able to see the various grow rooms, but my readings seem off. Something is not entirely right. Oh, that's great. You made the Colony B sound worse than this. But, fuck it, let's go. That's not right. The decontamination chamber you're in should be scanning you and clearing the air of toxins before you enter, to protect the operation inside. It doesn't appear to be working correctly. Be careful in there. Something gonna attack me? Let's go. Based on what I'm reading, the facility seems to be in quite a state. Remember, we're here to find salvageable plant samples that we can use to keep the food processors running here until we escape. But first, you should find something that would indicate what the crew were dealing with. Try looking for research notes on tables or desks. Alright, well, what about this? Hand-drawn notes. Those research notes, handwritten by multiple people. Things must have been chaotic. Based on these, I can confirm 2 of the crew members. Leslie, of course, as a facility manager, she was always on duty and she would have been here to the very end. Ashley, Hinesworth, the chief genetics researcher. She and Miss Bourgeois had very different points of view, if their personal logs were any indication. Meaning that they had arguments about agro dome procedures and protocol in general, many times. Miss Bourgeois was an excellent leader, though a bit of a reluctant one. She preferred consultation with her subordinates and open discussion. Miss Hainsworth, on the other hand, felt that leadership required a stronger hand, and as the situation got worse, their differences became more pronounced. Alright. What else? Like a rubble. The dome is in pretty bad shape. It looks like the walls have collapsed and there's a lot of damage all around. There are other labs around the other side of the corridor, but you won't be able to access them. We'll just have to focus our efforts here. Alright. Oh. The thick vines have really taken root here. There. You won't be able to get through those right now. Oh, right now. Alright, well. Water tube. This tube feeds water collected on the special roof to the hydroponic systems here in the dome. It looks terribly corrupted, though. The water seems heavily saturated with the toxic material that shouldn't be in the system. Well, I can't grab that? Alright. Well, is there anything over here? Agroponics Dome Administration to Leafy Greens Chamber 2. Alright, let's start here. Sample flower patch. There are flowers growing at the base of the vines. They appear to be either be resistant to the toxins that have invaded dome or a result of them. Likely they took root within the filtration and drainage systems below and crawled their way up through that grate. How long has this place been fucked? Look at note. It's a note from Florent Marchand, the horticultural technician. It reads, the ceiling tracks were damaged by the sudden growth of vines. Due to damage, auto sprinklers haven't been able to move correctly. This room is probably beyond repair. Alright, well. Shit, what else? What else can I go? Nope, can't go over there. Anything back here? Nope. Can I get this? No. No. Is that really it? Oh, shit. Well, it really looks like there's nothing else. Alright, well, fuck it. I'm out of here. And that's, no. Alright. Password required. Alright. Working data pad. Good find. That data pad still has some power left and doesn't seem to be password protected. Let me see if there's anything of use. It seems to contain a private chat thread between Ashley, the chief genetics researcher, and Arlo, the production supervisor. I'll read it to you. Ashley. So, now you see what I mean. Arlo. Yeah, it looks like she's afraid to make a decision. Exactly. She seems to freeze when things like this happen. I agree that this situation with the toxins needs to be dealt with more quickly. Or quicker would be the correct word. Don't be so diplomatic. You're sounding like her. I think we have a huge problem here. She needs to make a decision. The chat log ends there. It seems like some of Leslie's subordinates didn't agree with her leadership style. Well, look at note. It's a note from horticultural technician Florent Marchand. Use of the processing machine without my say-so is expressly forbidden. Since you keep going around my back, I've password locked it. You want it? Pay attention to my warnings next time. Well, alright. Someone's a little pissy. Nope. Hey, more notes. Good work. You found something that can help us. According to these notes, a toxin of some kind compromised the whole facility, impacting food growth. There's a detailed analysis of the toxins here. I might be able to use these formulae to reconfigure your scanner. Yes, this will work. You should be able to scan whatever plant life you come across now and determine if it's suitable for processing. We need to find specimens that are at least 60% viable for processing. Alright. And a bed. That wall-mounted cot is similar to your own bed. It was meant for short-term rest for the colonists who worked there. Sometimes longer than normal hours were required, and that break room was used as temporary sleeping quarters often. That's really weird English. There are an assortment of reference texts as well as leisure readings on the shelf. There's also a collection of holotapes. Oh my. They look to be bootleg movies, so. There are drama, action, and even romance films, all entirely illegal copies that someone must have covertly brought with them, or scanned via the inner space net. If the situation wasn't so dire, I would be inclined to note this in my next report to Hudson Cartier Mission Control. But given the circumstances, it hardly seems a priority. Well, fucking good, you goddamn snitch. Don't have a password. I can't scan the plant. Can I scan the flower? Nope. Alright, well. This is a really cool game. I'm liking it. Well, to the main hub. Can I scan whatever's in here? No? No? Ah. Rampion hybrid. You've scanned Rampion, an ancient earth vegetable. Genetics recently revived the strain for its hardiness and nutrition. Excellent work. This leafy green is still 75% viable for processing. Cool. What about this one? Yeah. Okinawan spinach. Oh, this is promising. The spinach is generally quite rich in nutrients. Lab modifications have made it exceptionally so. It's been compromised somewhat by the environment. We can still use some of it. It's 61% viable for processing. Cool. Anything else? I guess I can't eat a flower, but... I haven't seen anything that would be a password, though, so... There we go. Unknown plant type. Well, this is a surprise. This plant is entirely unknown, not one of the varieties commonly grown in the domes. Somehow, it's thrived within the toxic environment. Your scan shows it's 92% viable for processing. Awesome. What else is there? Can I go here? To the roots and tubers chamber. It looks like a seismic event collapsed one of the walls here. You may be able to squeeze through, though. What about this? You've scanned some modified potatoes. Their rich color comes from the extra vitamins and minerals they carry. It looks like these potatoes were heavily affected by the toxin. They're only 35% viable for processing. Alright, well... Can I squeeze through here? Body of Arlo Jagger. Oh, I'm sorry, Flubji. You appear to have found the corpse of Arlo Jagger, the production supervisor. His body is trapped beneath the rubble from that wall. It looks like he attempted to keep himself alive with the produce in that room, but either the tainted crops got the better of him or he simply never came. Well, interesting. Do I want to pass through the rubble? Well, might as well. These potatoes look delicious, though. Guess I'll pass through. Can I pass back there? Okay, cool. Is this edible? Flowering plant. An unknown species of flowers has sprung up in this hydroponic system. It appears to have mutated from another strain. I'm checking the flowers again to see if these are even viable as food source. It appears not. They're too alien for our system. These flowers are barely 5% viable for processing. What else is there? Oh, damn it. Alright, well, there's a note. It's a note from horticultural technician Florent Marchand. Special ventilation for this room is permanently shut down. Nothing we can do about it. There's an addition. If you two could have stopped bickering, maybe you'd have done your job, and these crops wouldn't have failed. Well, shit, man. Alright. Where else can I go? Time to pass through. Man, that's a big ass plant. Oh, there's another room. Chamber 2. There's something right here. That lentil plant still looks fairly vibrant. The surface details suggest it's mostly intact. Yes, the scan confirms it. Excellent find. But that plant is 89% viable for processing. Lentils are actually fucking good. Nothing. Might as well. These green bean vines were once fast-growing and efficient, but they appear withered and dry now. Unfortunately, scanning conformists are not even 7% viable for processing. No, I found at least a few things. It's a note from horticultural technician Florent Marchand. Please note, solution tubes are leaking due to faulty seals. New ones are being printed and will be installed. I know it sucks, but I'm backed up with repair requests. What else is there? Ever find a password? So, okay, there's those rooms. There's all that. Up in there. Nope. Let's see what I can find with this. Fuck. There's no... Do I have to use the nurse? I mean... Oh! I think it's this job sucks. I think I just found out the passcode. Because those are the only bold stated words. And, let's do this. So, this... Job... Yes! Hell yeah. It's a processing machine. Colonists would take crops and turn them into raw materials for the food processors and life support systems. However, it looks like it's been reconfigured. Judging by the data, Miss Bourgeois and her crew were trying to create a herbicide to fight off the invasive vines. Looks like they were partly it looks like they partly succeeded, but they may have had to abandon the dome before their work was finished. Why? Likely another seismic event forced them out. Someone began an automated procedure here, but didn't collect the results. By activating the machine again, we've confirmed the procedure. According to this, a successful herbicide was made. The machine should dispense it to the slot beside you. Yeah. Press a button. Just that face looking at it. The herbicide can be applied directly to vines. Are there any areas where vines are getting in your way? Well, yeah. Why ask me a question? Not let me answer. Oh, I'm so glad I figured out that password. Let's see what happens when you apply the herbicide to those vines. The vines seem to have recessed. You can access that area now. Flower chamber. Hey, notes. Photo of dog. That printed photograph is faded and damaged, but I can still make out its general image. It appears to be of a breed of canine known as a corgi. The dog is at an earth farm of some kind. Oh, corgis are cute. Corgis are often used for small-scale herding of animals, such as bovines. Their diminutive stature allows them to avoid being kicked. Yeah. Maybe Miss Bourgeois knows something about this dog. You can ask her about it when you see her in the holosim chamber. Yes, I can. Scanning. These are flowers that Miss Bourgeois was growing. She seemed to be using substantial resources purely for aesthetic purposes. A certain percentage of dome production time and materials were dedicated to this for psychological and community purposes. I don't believe this effort, however, was within the allotted amounts. Miss Bourgeois seems to have taken quite an interest in flowers. What is unclear, however, is whether these were grown during normal production or after the toxin set in. Either way, this broken bulb has been too greatly affected. We cannot use them for any purposes. Well, obviously. Chicory flowers. The broken bulb contained chicory, which was often used as a coffee substitute. The flowers look fairly healthy. Unfortunately, prolonged exposure to the air and polluted water there means the plant is only 23% viable for processing. Alright, well, looks like this room was a bust. I did find the corgi. Picture of a corgi. Alright, time to get out of here. Let's see what happens when you apply the herbicide to those vines. Goodbye. The vines seem to have recessed. You can access that area now. Leafy Green Chamber 1. Oh, let's see who this is. Body of Florent Marchand. I regret to inform you that you've discovered the body of Florent Marchand, horticultural technician. His remains are quite old, and your scan reveals little in how he died. There appears to be severe trauma to his skull. That could be from a heavy blow or a sudden impact if he fell. There's a ladder there, suggesting he was using it to repair something, but I can't be sure. Well, he could have just fallen. Fuck. I mean, like, I guess maybe a seismic event came, he fell, and died, and then the other guy got crushed in the same event. That's specially modified garden cress. This variety is far more nutritious than its natural version. It looks like the only plant that survived. It looks like only that plant survived, but we're in luck. It's 78% viable for processing. Well, you seem to have scanned everything you're going to find in there. There isn't much more you can do. It's unfortunate that the facility is in such poor shape. At least we're able to salvage something for your food supply. This doesn't solve our long-term goal of stocking the escape ship, but at least it stabilizes things while we keep working. When you're ready, head back to the shuttle and plot a course back home. That'll be it for today. No, let me check around, fool. Fuck. I'm still interested. Nothing. Alright, well, I'm out of here. The poisonous plants that have invaded that dome are strange indeed. We are fortunate to find even as few samples as we did for our use. It looks like Miss Bourgeois and her staff were scrambling to figure out how to combat the toxin and revive the food system. After the Rift event, so many things fell apart. We're discovering more and more evidence of that. I suppose there's nothing more to be done there. You should get back home and out of that rain. Alright, let's go. Colony A. Bam, bam, bam. Oh, I love those sound effects. They're so awesome. It's so 80s. I'm glad to see you made it back unharmed. Please come to the core right away so we can process your findings. Yeah, it's such a determined walk. It's so great. Okay, all the data you collected today is synced and ready to be worked on. You did well out there. Since you went to the agrodomes, you'll be able to visit Miss Bourgeois in the Holosim chamber tonight. You can retire to your quarters when you're ready. I'll call for you when the Holosim chamber is available. I hope it saves after this. Rest for a while. It's time, Flubji. The Holosim chamber is ready for you now. Just head in when you're ready. Have a good evening. Oh, hello there. It's nice to finally get to meet you. I'm aware of your trip today, at least partly. How did the mission go? It was okay. Just okay? I mean, I hope you got what you needed. If what the AI said was true, you'll need everything you can get. I've just been here, tending my garden. It's odd that now that I'm, well, this, I guess, that I finally get to do what I love. Back in the agrodomes, we were under a lot of pressure. Managing the staff and the operation was so important, but if I'm being honest, it was always the plants that I loved. The process of it, the puzzle of it, you know? Tell me more. Well, you know, the others were obsessed with radios or drones or ships. With me, it's always been about plants. Okay. When I was little, my family had a small farm. One of the few that were left, but then agriculture was almost entirely automated. It was illegal to sell the crops we produced, too much regulation, too many companies controlling our food. You probably remember that. So we were only able to feed ourselves, which is also technically illegal. Everything we grew was natural, or as close as we could get. But after my parents died, I couldn't afford to keep the farm to fend off the legal challenges from the companies who claimed we were stealing patented seeds. And somehow, I found my way here. Hudson Cartier gave me my labs, gave me farmland, let me set up a greenhouse. Or set up greenhouses. All the rations we had here, those were all designed in my lab, tested in my fields. All I ever wanted was to work with plants. Do you know what I mean? I get you. Really, that's comforting in a way. When you're the director of an operation like that, it's hard to find people who share your passions. When I signed up to come out here, I was thrilled with the idea of cultivating and nurturing an entire ecosystem. I mean, Hudson Cartier had a plan, of course. There are stages to terraforming, and the ultimate one being really the creation of life. Just imagine it. This whole world, green, lush, vibrant, just like Earth used to be. Used to be? What? The promise of that kept me going every day. All I ever wanted was to work with plants. Do you know what I mean? How so? Well, it's like anything else. It's rewarding to be challenged, to break new ground. Plants are like that for me. Maybe it's different for you, but the thrill of seeing life grow between your hands, under your feet, is magical for me. Especially since this facility is so cold otherwise. All these prefab halls, building block pieces, everything in its place. Plants, flowers, trees, you can only impose so much order on them, you know? They soften the edges, reduce the monotony. Monotony, whatever. But now all I have is this little garden, and it isn't even real. And I guess nor am I. Oh, Flubgy, what are we going to do? It's okay. Most of the time I forget that I'm just a stupid hologram, a simulation. But sometimes I remember. I remember and I can't think about anything else. Listen, let's change the subject, otherwise I won't be able to calm down. You must have some questions, something you want to talk about. The domes. Sure. I can tell you more about the agrodomes. Before everything went askew, it was quite the place. You probably only saw the main agricultural dome. That was where all the production took place. It was really something else. Prior to coming here, we had researched for a decade the kinds of plants we should cultivate when we cultivate. We went through so many trials for suitability, nutrition, efficiency. We couldn't bring meat or animals. They were just too costly and difficult to manage. But the food processors could take plant parts and create so much with them. That technology was headed up by a team that Pierre appointed. My job was to find the right plants, the ones that could be used for hundreds of different things. We actually lost more seeds than we expected during space travel here, so in a way, we started behind schedule. Finally, I was able to farm for real, not just to feed myself, but to supply an entire system. I think my parents would have loved it. Is there anything else? Your staff. Yeah, okay, we can talk about them. Although I warn you, I'm better with plants than I am with people. I think one of the other reasons I love working with plants so much is that their systems I can understand. People are different. The lab work, farming, it's all complicated and often hard to predict, but people are just more so. Being the chief at the dome reminded me of that. If I'm being honest, I would have preferred to be in the labs all day, not managing people. I'm not sure I was the best of it. Well, I know I wasn't, although I can't quite remember why. I guess the AI's version of me isn't as complete as it should be. I do remember, however, Ashley. She was the chief genetics researcher. We didn't always see eye to eye. You know, just before the Rift event, I recall us having quite a heated argument. She wanted to push ahead with a new strain of tuber, and I disagreed. Is there anything else you'd like to talk about? Dog photo? Oh, that's Charlie, my old dog. Wherever did you find this? Boy, do I miss that old corgi. Poor Charlie. I don't know how long it's been. Before I committed to Hudson Cartier and eventually to this, I had to give him up. He was the best. I tried to make him a working dog, but to be honest, he was kind of lazy. I wasn't great at training him. Charlie would sort of pretend to listen to me, but he always had his own agenda. I was a sucker for it. He was just too charming, that scruffy little guy. He's probably, well, gone by now. But the farmer who took him was great to him. I know. Good old Charlie. I'm so glad you brought this to me. It's nice to think about the old farm. It helps me focus. I think I can work even harder on these fixes for your ship now. I can't thank you enough for coming to visit. It does get lonely in here, even if it is beautiful. I hope you'll come back again sometime. You bet. That would be great. It helps to talk about these things. Go over old details. It'll keep me sharp so I can help you with your ship. I'm going to go back to my garden now, I suppose. Good luck, Flubgy. I hope to see you again soon. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see, girl. We'll see. Oh, it's saving now? Well, I was hoping it would save once I wake up for day 3. Ba-da-ba-da-ba-ba. Ba-da-ba-da-ba-ba. Day 3. Good morning once again. The holograms seem very motivated. Did you have an enjoyable time last night? You bet. Excellent. Our decision to augment our efforts with the hologram is proving to be the right one. This is great news. As long as they feel inspired to aid you, I believe they will excel in their move. Please keep this in mind. There are two more areas you can explore to further your goal. Come see me in the core again, and you can begin your day. It's not the most comfortable bed, but it's all we have at the moment. Oh, yeah. At least with nobody around, you don't need to worry about its appearance. That's true. Alright. Thank you for watching, anyone who came in and watched the stream. Thank you for watching if you watch this on YouTube. I'll pick this up from this part in the next stream / next part. Thanks again, guys, and have a good one. Bye. Well, pressing the wrong button. Okay. See you guys. Bye.